I get it when you scroll through the endless listings of CNC routers, the glossy photos and bold claims can make it feel like every machine will be a magic ticket to flawless woodwork. Then you finally get one home, set it up, and discover the reality is a lot messier. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video I'm going to walk through what the FoxAlien Z-Pro actually does in a real workshop, where it shines, and why it might still leave you reaching for a different tool. First off, the biggest hesitation people have with a CNC router at this price point is whether the machine can stay true when you push it for longer cuts. The Z-Pro comes with 1204 ball screws on all three axes, which is a step up from the standard lead screws you see on many entry-level kits. In practice that means the carriage doesn't wobble as much when you're carving a 2-inch deep pocket in a piece of hardwood. I tried a test cut on an inch Baltic birch panel, and the edges stayed within 1/10 of a millimeter of the design line. That level of precision is the kind of thing that saves you from having to sand down a whole board later. But precision is only half the story. The router also includes 4 closed-loop stepper motors. Closed loop means the motor gets feedback about its actual position and can correct itself on the fly, which reduces missed steps when you're running the machine at higher speeds. In a typical day, I'm running a sign with 0.5 mm lettering at about 12,000 revolutions per minute, and the motors stay cool enough that I can keep the job going for an hour without pausing. That continuous run time is a real benefit if you're producing a batch of parts for a client or a small production run for your own shop. Now, the bundle throws in a 1HP 710W palm router that claims a variable speed range from 10,000 to 30,000 revolutions per minute. The high end of that range is useful when you're doing fine engraving on acrylic or softwood, where you need that extra spin to avoid burning the material. I swapped the palm router on the spindle for a short job on an inch acrylic sheet, and the finish was clean with virtually no melt. The 6-level voltage adjustment makes it easy to dial in the right power without a separate speed controller, which is a convenience you rarely see in kits that try to keep the price low. That said, there are trade-offs you need to be aware of before you hit buy. The machine's overall footprint is about 1.5 feet square, which is great for a home garage but can feel cramped if you're planning to work on large panels. The travel limits on the X and Y axes are around 500 mm, so you'll need to split any job larger than that into multiple setups. That extra alignment step can add time and potential error if you're not used to stitching pieces together. Also, while the ball screws give you smooth motion, they are a bit noisier than the linear rails you find on premium industrial models, so expect a constant whirring that can be noticeable in a small apartment. Who should consider the Z-Pro? If you're a hobbyist or a small-scale entrepreneur who wants a machine that can handle both sign-making and light furniture components without investing in a full-size industrial router, this is a solid match. The closed-loop stepper system and ball screw precision give you confidence for detailed work, while the included palm router expands your material palette. It also works well for educators who need a reliable platform for teaching CAD/CAM concepts, because the machine is sturdy enough to survive the occasional beginner's mistake. Who should skip it? If your primary need is to carve full-size cabinets, large decorative panels, or you're looking for a CNC that can run 24/7 in a production environment, the travel limits and cooling constraints will become bottlenecks. Likewise, if you already own a high-quality router table and just need a modest upgrade to automate repetitive cuts, you might find the extra cost of the ball screws and closed-loop motors more than you need. In those cases, a simpler, open-loop system with a larger work envelope could give you more bang for the buck. Let's talk about setup. The machine arrives partially assembled, which is a relief compared to some kits that ship in a single crate of raw components. I spent about 2 hours tightening the ball screw couplings, calibrating the end stops, and loading the firmware onto the controller board. The process is straightforward if you follow the included PDF, but there's no video guide from the manufacturer, so you'll rely on community forums for troubleshooting. Once it's up, the software integration with popular CAM packages like Fusion 360 is pretty seamless. You export the code and drop it onto the controller's SD card, and the machine runs the job with minimal hiccups. A practical strength that often gets glossed over is the machine's ability to hold work securely. The work table comes